With the tragedy growing by the day, officials in the central Texas flood zone still refuse to answer questions about whether enough was done to get people out ahead of the flooding.
A father with his 3 sons shared a survival story, walking us through the terrifying moments when his family was rescued from their RV and then rushed to safety.
The death toll in the Texas flood disaster has climbed now to 118, more than 170 still missing. Hello and welcome in, everybody. I'm Casey Stiegel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. Officials in Kerr County, which faced the worst of the destruction, said 95 people were found dead there. That includes 36 children. Officials also say removing the debris is a tedious process, and the public is being asked not to disturb the debris piles. City and county leaders say their crews have been working nonstop, working on their days off, all trying to locate the missing.
Fox 4's Sean Rabb has more now, live from our newsroom. Hi, Sean.
Hello. And while searchers continue their painstaking work, holding out hope of finding some survivors, growing questions about whether enough was done to get people out before the flood came in.
I do not know.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
Listen, people are yelling, and I didn't really want y'all to.
If you offer only 3 questions, then you're going to have people.
Guess what? You're in Kerrville, and we're going to do it my way.
Kerrville Mayor Jim Herring, who'd been more cordial, today more coarse, as reporters rushed questions about whether a flood warning system had been discussed for years but never acquired, because grant requests to the federal government were turned down, and local officials worried whether they could afford the protection.
I wasn't in office during those discussions. And frankly, I'm more focused on the future than the past, as you know. What I can say is the governor, the lieutenant governor, the speaker of the Texas House have all provided us support, and they have all said this is a priority for the upcoming special legislative session.
The Kerr County Sheriff questioned about whether a volunteer firefighter commander asked a sheriff's dispatcher to initiate the code red alert system Friday morning as the river was rising, and that dispatcher said they needed a supervisor's approval. It would be close to 6 hours before the code red alert was activated.
With every emergency, you know what, we're going to have to, there's going to be an after action. Please, y'all, listen to those words, after action, okay? Those questions are going to be answered. I believe those questions need to be answered to the family of the missed loved ones, to the public, to the people that put me in this office. Those need to be, and I want that answer, and we're going to get that answer. And I know that's going to be asked over and over. Please understand that. We're not running. We're not going to hide from everything. That's going to be checked into.
Legitimate question for now left unanswered, while the search for the missing continues amid debris piles 50 feet high, 300 feet long, stretching along the Guadalupe. Reserved now, but raging Friday, swallowing everything in its way. Police officers saved dozens as the floodwaters were rising around them.
Folks, I don't know how many lives our KPD team saved in an hour in Kerrville, but I know that this tragedy, as horrific as it is, could have been so much worse.
And we know the numbers could still climb of the missing. The issue of the flood warning system has been added to the special session that starts later this month. Casey?
Yeah, a lot of work will be done on that. We'll be watching it. Fox 4's Sean Rabb live in our newsroom tonight. Sean, thanks so much.
Okay.
A father is thankful that he and his 3 sons made it out alive.
They were home in their RV park. It was in their RV at this RV park. It was flooded when those waters quickly rose. This is in Ingram. Fox's Jillian Hartman has the story.
Well, we're in Ingram where there's devastating damage. Seeing it up close in person is unbelievable. We can walk you through some of the destruction we're seeing here. This is a piece of a guardrail. There are broken tree branches everywhere and debris scattered in this area. To give you some perspective, that's the Guadalupe River. And you can see across here several downed trees and just roots ripped right out of the ground. Now, we've been hearing some remarkable stories of survival, and I spoke with the father who was in his RV with his 3 young boys when he just had minutes to escape. This local father walked us through the terrifying moments when his family was rushed to safety on July 4th morning. He lives in this RV with his 3 young sons along the Guadalupe River. He says he woke up to the Ingram Fire Department telling him to get out.
It was unbelievable, You just think, like, I could hear it and them yelling and then, the sirens going off, and you don't think it's like happening, I honestly second guessed it until I opened the door and I saw, the lights and everybody outside, and I was just like, oh man, it's really happening. And then once I loaded my boys in the car, because I had wanted to go take a peep at first, and I saw that the water, it was rising, you know, it was coming from both, looked like it was coming from both sides.
He shared this video of the flooding, and you can see how high the water got. He says he lost almost everything he owns.
What's your reaction seeing this destruction?
It's saddening, because prior to this, it's like almost 10 months of me and my kids getting to where we're at here, you know, and honestly, we made this for the past 8 months, have made this our home.
He said the night before he was celebrating Independence Day early with his boys, not knowing what was going to happen just hours later. He says they are lucky to be alive.
No, it's just scary. It's a scary experience, you know, seeing everything that's kind of transpired, you know, people losing their kids and everything. It's just, it's kind of heart-wrenching just because, you know, I have my 3 boys of my own, so just, you know, I'm grateful I got them out of that situation. It's kind of upsetting seeing others couldn't.
Now that father tells me they're going to stay with some relatives until they find a new place to live. Reporting in Ingram, I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox News.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordering flags across the state to be lowered to half staff in honor of the lives lost.
The order runs through July 14th, but Central Texas will be in recovery mode for months and possibly years to come.
If you would like to help, Fox 4 has set up a site to send money directly to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. Just scan the QR code on your screen. We also have a link set up on our website, fox4news.com, and of course through the Fox local app.
And so far, Fox viewers have raised more than $3 million. Many organizations in the area are now only asking for monetary donations. They say they're grateful for the donations they've received, but have gotten so many they're running out of places to store things.